Hello everybody, this is the Curse of Oak Island looks back and ahead, and just going to be looking at the previous episode with hopefully not too much repetition from the no cap recap, but more like just extra thoughts and so forth about it, as well as look ahead to the next episode. This is from the episode called Wet and Wild. And there's Dr. Spooner there where the boulder used to be, and now he's searching for specimens. And he ends up with a twig that was between two rocks and this piece of cutwood. And so we'll see what the carbon dating is on those. Garden shaft. It was called Wet and Wild for a reason. They pierced a flood tunnel, supposedly. That would make sense, being in the money pit area, that they would hit one sooner or later. And Dumas Contracting says that they can pump it out to be relatively dry, but the constant pumping would likely, has a good chance anyway, of undermining the integrity of the garden shaft, and so it could collapse. And so they are wanting to avoid that, and while they take more time, which means probably more time than the rest of the season, to determine a path forward as far as to make it the safest they can, so that they continue trying to tap into the tunnel that is that they're already actually down to, and just going further from that, using the garden shaft as a base to tunnel to different areas in the money pit. And so, but since they can't do the entire pumping job, they said, they offered the possibility of maybe doing half of it or so, and keeping half of it dry, the top half of it. And so the idea was floated about the 55-foot void found in season 10 from this borehole right here. You can see the drill right here. So that would put that about on the southwest. Yeah, always get turned around. I'm very geographically impaired. Where's Zig when I need him? Right? Southwestern corner of the garden shaft. And right there, 55 foot down, the drill hit a void. Just went, just fell completely through it. I think it's about 7 feet, I think it was. And so, yeah, 55 foot. And what's interesting about that is, at 55 foot in the garden shaft, they found some wood and had it tested, and Emma came out to the money pit to announce that those pieces of wood had gold traces in them. So that's very interesting. So you definitely want to do that. So basically they would pump out enough of the water so where they could get down to the 55-foot level, and then be able to probe drill this way towards that void, and confirm that that void is there. And then maybe, probably not this season, but hopefully next season, if there's a void there, then they could just tunnel to it rather than dig another hole. Because the digging doesn't seem to be a working thing, but maybe if they can tunnel without hitting another flood tunnel, then maybe that'll take care of that. Back at the Teferet point, or near it, in the on the Nolan property, Teferet in the Tree of Life point, circle of rocks, depression, and as you can see, it's back here. That is the excavator right there. That's the eye of the swamp. And I always like these type of aerial photos with it, because as I said, I'm geographically impaired, and I never really thought of the swamp, because you're taught that it's told as a triangle, and it is a triangle shape, but apparently it's still like kind of very swampy all the way out to the bay on the Nolan property. And so, which I never really thought about that before, that would be the same. This arrowhead was found on Oak Island during the time of the Robert Dunfield dig. And his son gave it to a researcher that was researching the earliest inhabitants of Oak Island, and so the researcher's son met with Rick and showed Rick, and supposedly they found 3 of these. The other 2 we don't know where they are, but now we know where this one is, and that researcher's son is also going to be be working with Rick to try to get this tested in non-destructive ways. Laser ablation, it does take a minute amount, like a microscopic amount, so I think that would probably be okay. You can do laser ablation on it, and then you can find out where the metal is from. When I did a Google Lens search on this a few weeks ago, a different picture of it though, but like 3 weeks ago, I think, because they were during lost U-boats of World War II, as you can see right down below it. But in the middle of that show, they had a like rest of the season teaser for Curse of Oak Island, because it included this. And so I was able to Google Lens search it, and it came up with an auction site. The thing that most looked like it was on an auction site. It said it's sold. It said $0. I don't know if after it sells they cancel out the amount or not. But it said that it was a circa 2 to 300 AD Roman arrowhead. And so we'll see if any of that matches. Be interesting to find out about that. More stakes at this near the Teferet Point as well. And Fred Nolan found stakes, a bunch of them, in the swamp, and had those carbon dated, and that date came back to the 1500s. So if these come back to the same date, that'd be fabulous, because that means they were doing stuff on the whole island. And these probably survey stakes. They could be other kind of markers as well, though. This here, again, the circle of rocks. And Steve Guptill has his GPS device on a rock that's in the depression. And he says this is 1 foot below sea level, which is the exact same elevation as the paved area further south in the swamp. Dr. Spooner gets a core sample of the sediment underneath the depression. And wouldn't it be cool if he finds gold or silver in that? That would be cool, but of course any information is good information. This is Valkenburg Castle ruins in the Netherlands. This was in that teaser trailer too, the rest of the season teaser, I guess it was. And so I'd get Google Lens this, and this also came out with something at the name of that place. And so that'll be in the Netherlands, so they'll be going into the Netherlands, also France, where I believe this Abbey is. Next episode is called Abbey Road. And this is a Cistercian, which is a group of monks and nuns. Cistercians, and they have Templar and Freemason ties. And they were very scientifically advanced, and one of their prominent members helped establish the Knights Templar. And that synopsis reads, for Abbey Road, reads, while the team uncovers a surprising find on Lot 5, we'll see that in a second, members of the Fellowship arrive in Europe and immediately discover more Templar connections. This is Moya. I thought Jamie found this, but I think that's Moya. Finds this artifact. And to me, it looks like a piece of metal folded over itself, like the copper artifact that Doug thinks is Viking. There's the XRF of this. Now I did Google Lens this, and no luck there. All the Google Lens search on this picture right here, all it brought up was sand dollars and shells. Is all that brought up. But I mean that is kind of shell-like there. So I mean that'd be interesting as well. And when Laird comments on this, he says they're examples in the medieval times. So, and theoretically they were just showing this. So theoretically they were talking about this. But you never know. Editing. This, I think, France. This is a Templar built castle. And I guess catacombs beneath, or this could be the Valkenburg Castle ruins. But Emilio, I think, is the one that says it. He says the Templars brought their treasure here on the way to Oak Island. And then the next, the teaser trailer for the next episode for Abbey Roads shows these, which I don't remember if there's some exactly like this on Oak Island, but there's definitely the circle and the dots around it, which means Templar. And like this with these dots in this pattern, I don't recall seeing that before. But what I also noticed a little while ago today was that these pieces of wood have carvings on them as well. Don't know if that would be later graffiti or what, but that will be interesting to see those as well, especially if those are made at the same time as the building was constructed. I'll be continuing to do no-cap recaps of each episode of Curse of Oak Island Season 11 as they come out. Like I said, late Tuesday nights. Also doing retro no-cap recaps of the previous episodes, previous seasons. I'm in the middle of doing Season 6 right now. Alrighty, and like I said, hopefully I can get Zig on one of these looks back and ahead soon. But we do probably will put out another deep dives episode. Hopefully this weekend. Alrighty, thanks so much for joining, Okies. Please subscribe, like, and comment.